It gets better than this. If this family doesn't want us, we'll just find another one. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about the homosexuality community, LGBTQIA, because it's a pretty good chance a lot of people, especially teenagers, are going to lose their families. And so what our community crafted was gay families. And my gay family is amazing.
That was Tiffany Hunter. I'm Buddy Forbes, and this is Queerly Quilted. This week's episode is going to be a little different. You're going to hear two different stories shared at Pride in the Park. That event goes back to last week's episode with Patchwork and Folks. So if you haven't listened to that episode, pause here, go back and take a listen. Here you'll hear the stories of Tiffany Hunter and Dezzarae Brown. Tiffany is from Norton, Virginia, and Dezzarae is a transplant who now lives in Virginia as well. They each share unique stories about their own specific journey. The background noise may be a bit much for some, but we were in the park, so it was kind of hard to isolate. So talk to me first of all a little bit about being here today.
I'm really excited about today in particular. Pride stuff's great. I'm down with it anywhere. But with me today, I have my 22-year-old little cousin who just came out of the closet a few months ago, and she's never been to a Pride event.
Wow.
So that's really impactful because I grew up knowing my family was religious and they wouldn't accept it, and I got to a point where I didn't care. And I feel like I went through with my family what I did so that I could shelter her from what they were trying to put her through.
So what was it like for you growing up?
When I look back, I can remember having crushes on girls in kindergarten. But my grandmother was a traveling evangelist. Everybody was in church. We were on the worship team. All of that crazy business. So I had an aunt who outed me at family prayer. Yeah. So needless to say, it was rough. My mother, whom I love and has grown leaps and bounds, told me that no one would want to be around me. People wouldn't trust me with their kids. Yeah. And my dad actually passed away. It's almost been 6 years. And he passed away before I came out to anybody.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like I didn't even get to have a Dad, this is who I am conversation. But I know that I had two choices. I could stay in the closet and suffocate, or I could come out and live my life. No matter what they say, they don't have to like it, they can leave, they don't have to believe in it. It's true, I know gay people, so it is real. But like just the fact that she could do what she could do today, that my family would have flipped on 5 years ago.
So when did you come out?
I was 33, and I'm 44.
Wow.
So it's not been long, but I came out swinging. It was gay everything, like underwear, t-shirts, pants, shoes, keychains. And I mean, it was still hard. So I really worried for her because when she first started dating girls in high school, and I worried about what they would do or say. So I spent a lot of time encouraging her. It gets better than this. If this family doesn't want us, we'll just find another one. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about the homosexuality community, LGBTQIA, because it's a pretty good chance a lot of people, especially teenagers, are going to lose their families. And so what our community crafted was gay families. And my gay family is amazing. My gay family is forgiving, accepting. Nobody preaches at me. And I actually brought her here with me today because I want her to get more involved and just find more freedom in all of it.
So have you seen over the years, I guess, when you look at how it was when you were growing up, a shift in the narrative? Do you think it will be a little easier for her in the world that we live in now?
Absolutely. Because it's still, like, I don't want to have, like, rainbow clouds over my eyes. Like, it's getting hard in the world. But everything's hard in the world. Like, somebody's going to be mad at somebody, and it happens.
Right.
But, like, if she's with, like, it'll be much easier for her. Because people are accepting that I didn't choose to be gay. And so, if I didn't choose to be gay, it's a pretty good chance a lot of people didn't choose to be gay. So I think the world is more open and more shut at the same time. So she has the support from me, but the more the merrier. Get her a gay family to hang out with. Because it matters. I remember I laid in my bed one night with 30-something Roxy's in my hand and couldn't work up the nerve to take them. Because what do you do? Where do you go? Like, my mom acts like she doesn't want me here. My dad has no idea. But I trust now that if there was an issue with my parents, then my gay family would take care of me.
And what is that like, knowing that you have been able to kind of craft and create a community?
It's really... It shows me that the human mind can, like, overcome so many things that... So, like, this was really hard, but I made it. So, is this going to be hard? It doesn't matter, because I made it through the hard thing last time. So, I think that that's... Like, I have people who will sit and listen without offering their own opinion. Who will listen to the point, listen to understand, not listen to hear. And we're all committed to making sure everybody's good. Like, I can see messages going through our group chat all the time. Hey, just checking on you. Doesn't mean you need me. We don't have to be in the same room for me to feel their love for me. I feel it consistently. And growing up in church, I was pretty hardcore about it. And, God's love, it was exactly the opposite of what I felt when I came out to them. So I know that it feels like they're the first people who really love me.
Now, if you could go back in time and talk to young you, what would you say?
It gets easier. I think people hear stuff like it gets easier, and they think that, like, all of their tribulations are going to go away, all of their problems. It gets easier to handle those problems and remain healthy in your mind about yourself.
When I say queer Appalachia, what does that bring to your mind?
It's a group of people. We all live our separate lives, right? But we have something like this, and it's like you see families and kids, and like, this is amazing. This is queer Appalachia.
Did you have anyone like that in your life that you could look to, or were you just kind of on your own? But now you get to be that for...
Yeah. She told me what.
Because if you know Appalachia, you know that it holds magic in the mountains. You know that, especially if you're from around here. I'm not from around here, and it's so magical for me. So the fact that there is not only an LGBT community that feels safe, but you're also in the mountains of magic, it means everything.
That was Dezzarae Brown. So first of all, just kind of talk to me about being here today.
This is the first time I've ever even seen something like this, because I come from bigger cities, so I've never seen something so close-knit and small and so many people in one place. So I think it's actually really cool. I've never seen a community get together like this in such a rural area.
So kind of share your story with me. How do you identify?
I am pansexual. That's how I would prefer, I guess, to be called, because I am actually with a trans man right now. But I literally will, if you treat me right and respect me, I'm going to do the same for you.
So what has your journey been like?
I have always known that I was in the LGBT community, but I never knew like how serious it was until I got older, because I was in a small town when I moved to Michigan. And it was proper to be with boys and do all that stuff. So when I got older and I started noticing more females, and then I learned what trans men were, that's when I finally decided to just say screw it and go for what I want. And it just has been a journey ever since, honestly.
So how long has that been since you've been open to those ideas?
A very long time. I was 14 when I started dating a female for my first time. It was long distance, and we ended up on and off for 10 years. And then I tried to be with men a little bit in between that, and it never felt right. A cis man, it just did not feel right for me. And then when I turned 21, I was introduced to trans people, and trans men and me have just been a thing ever since, I guess. So yeah, I don't know.
So what brings you to this area?
Crazy story. Me and my ex-fiance, who is actually a trans man, he was living in Alabama, and if you know anything about Alabama, you know that it's the Bible Belt. And he is a trans man, like I said, so he was struggling real bad, and his parents ended up hitting him and all sorts of stuff, and so one of our friends offered us to move out here, and we moved out here. Some things went down. We ended up getting kicked out of her house, and then we went and did our own thing for a while, and now I've been here ever since, and honestly, this is the safest place I've ever felt in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So which part of the area are you in now?
I actually live in Wise.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not far from here at all.
No.
So what has it been like for you in Wise as part of the LGBTQ plus community?
I didn't realize how many gays were around. I did not realize how many people were actually a part of the LGBT community around here, because of the structure with the churches, like a tight-knit community. Like, it's very just old school ways. And so to come out here and notice how many people were actually a part of the same community that I was, it was really like eye-opening in a sense, because you hear a lot about small towns and how they're very anti-LGBT, and it kind of deteriorates your motivation to even go outside sometimes, because you get looked at like a freak, and so coming here, it's been very eye-opening. And then with all the spiritual stuff that goes on around the mountains too, I love it. I absolutely love it.
So where you were from, was there ever like a big concern with coming out?
No. I will say that when I did come out, my family didn't believe me at first. They just thought it was a phase. You'll grow out of it. It is what it is. And I would never see myself with a cis man ever again. I adore them. I think they're amazing, but they're just not for me, But where I was from, it's a very big community, Lansing. And so there's buildings for LGBTQ. There's communities. There's all sorts of things. And so it was very easy to come out, and I did feel safe, and that's why I'm really glad that the community here is starting to do stuff like bigger cities are, because we all deserve to feel safe.
And what have you seen with the growth here? How long have you been here?
I've been here a year actually now. Yeah.
So have you seen in that year the growth in the community as well?
I see both. I see goods and I see bads. My boyfriend now, he actually just went into the hospital not too long ago. He has epilepsy. And while we were there, some of the radiologist people that were there were making fun of him for being trans. And so we're actually dealing with complaint with that right now. And so, but other than that, I mean, everything else that I've seen around here, it's amazing. Like, if you need help, whether you are a part of the community or not, somebody is going to lend a helping hand. If you see that they need help, you're going to lend a helping hand. And they're usually, for the most part, grateful for it.
When I say the words queer Appalachia, what does that bring to your mind?
Oh yeah, it's like a silent literally what I live for. Like, it's just everything that, because if you know Appalachia, you know that it holds magic in the mountains. You know that, especially if you're from around here. I'm not from around here, and it's so magical for me. So the fact that there is not only an LGBT community that feels safe, but you're also in the mountains of magic, it means everything. I mean, how much safer can you get? Being around nature and the literal magic that makes the world. Like, you know? I don't know. I definitely think it's a very beautiful thing, and I really hope that later on, more of the community of Wise, Big Stone, places like that, they actually come to realize that it's not bad. LGBT people are not bad. We're not out to hurt and do weird things to people. We just want to be loved like y'all go and get loved, you know?
Well, I appreciate you chatting with me.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you allowing me to.
Make sure to follow Patchwork Kinfolks on Facebook to keep up with all of their work, including events like Pride in the Park. You can follow the show on Facebook at Queerly Quilted, on Instagram at queerly.quilted, and send your emails to queerlyquiltedpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to share your story, reach out on any of those platforms and we can set something up. If you're still not ready to share your story out loud, but you want to contribute it for a Quietly Queer episode, send an email to queerlyquiltedpodcast@gmail.com. Those will be kept anonymous. Because at the end of the day, whether you're ready to say it out loud or you're still sitting in silence, your story matters. You are loved. You are needed. You are important. You are queerly quilted.